are so happy to have you back. This is a To Your Health segment. We have actually brought Brian back. Brian Hastings is the director for the EMA Emergency Management for the state of Alabama, not for a county. We have wonderful people, by the way. Like to applaud all of those folks. Each county has its own emergency management, and these folks are astronomical. And you were just telling me how great so many of these people are, and we couldn't, he couldn't do anything without them. And I love to see you appreciate that.
Absolutely.
But the last time we talked about things that you're hearing from a lot of people, and I think today what we'd like to do is, when you talk about you're asymptomatic, you think you're feeling fine, you're not wearing a mask, let's talk about what the ramifications of your effect on somebody else really is. How do you know you're asymptomatic?
You don't.
You don't, because my mask.
You don't. I think the issue there is your point of view and your mentality of how you go into this. So working every day with people in a building, because we have a mission to do at emergency management, is we take those precautions. And so if I can't maintain 6 feet separation, or I'm in a place that I haven't sanitized, then I will mask up. I will maintain 6 feet. I will wash my hands. I don't touch my face anymore. I don't open doors with my hands. I use some other object or cloth to do that, to make sure that I am not allowing the transmission of the virus to my body, and specifically my mouth, my nose, and my eyes. The mask is an interesting thing. So there's a large portion of society, and now if we go to the data, I talked in an earlier segment that 80% of the deaths are in the elderly, 65 and above, and then a smaller portion is in those who are 59 and or 64 and below, or 59 and below. And the very young, we haven't seen any deaths yet in Alabama, thank God, right? It's not the same in some other places, so thank God. But the reason that when you go into a public place like a grocery store or a other store, now that retail shops and restaurants are opening up, is that if you have the disease or you don't have the disease, because there's a portion of society that has the disease and is now transmitting the disease without knowing they have it, the face covering, it stops a portion of the expulsion of the virus in your mucus. And that is how the disease transmits. That is the reason that you have these huge outbreaks in weddings, funerals, reunions, things like that, where people are sharing spoons in buffets. People are sharing plates or sharing glasses or hugging and kissing each other, and you don't know where those other people have been, and they don't know whether they have the disease or not. So I've kind of flipped the switch in my own life where I will act as if I am a COVID positive person who is asymptomatic. And then I think about all those behaviors that I now need to have to reduce the transmission to my neighbors or people like you, Virginia, or Jack, where being younger, I may be less susceptible, but I'm still susceptible to the disease. But once you get into the 50, 55, 60, 65 and older, I believe society has an obligation to protect society writ large. So it's less about me and it's more about other people. So it's more of an outward mindset than an inward mindset. So instead of thinking it as a violation of my rights, I think of my behaviors violating others around me and facilitating the rapid transmission of this disease unbeknownst to myself.
I honestly think that's the main thing that I wanted us to get across today, because there's so much mixed messaging and mixed opinions and beliefs, and if you don't do anything else, if you can do what Brian Hastings suggested, think of yourself. That is a beautiful way to go at that. Think of yourself as having it. And it's straight from the Bible. There's a golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And if you don't want to wear that mask for your vanity or your attitude or your beliefs, then you know what? Please do it for mine. And thank you for being with us, and we'll be right back.